Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic, Non-Classic. That's number 2739, double number 2633. Got two DC characters to discuss here. First up, the final trade to collect issues from Chuck Dixon's run for Nightwing. Nightwing Volume 8, Lethal Force. Okay, like in the case of Robin Volume 5, War of the Dragons, this book, for some reason, is out of print. Because finding this book is, like, near impossible. There apparently is not many books left of this one. I mean, there's plenty for Volume 7. The first 7 volumes, they're all there. But this book, nah. It fell out of print. Do not know the reason for it, but that's basically what it is. This trade collects issues 61 to 70. I'm also discussing the first 5 issues of Devin Grayson's run for the book. Which, yes, I will be getting to that controversial 93. That will not probably next time I talk about Nightwing. It'll be 2 times afterwards because when I get back to the book, I'm only going to be discussing 15 trade issues because I want to save that for a particular episode and some ranting here. Yes. So, in these issues for Nightwing, by the way, they actually have a couple issues in here that are part of the Officer Down storyline. Yes, if you're really curious though, it was issues... Actually, it's not here. So, now, why did Chuck Dixon end his run with issue 70? The reason? Because he left for CrossGen. Because... Excuse me. Yeah, this is probably actually it's after the events of. He will lead this book knowing the events of a story known as Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer / Bruce Wayne Fugitive. And these issues released in November 2001 and conclude in August of 2002. The artwork for these issues is done by Chet McCary, Star Johnson, Rick Burchett, and William Rosado. The cover artists are Trevor McCarthy, Carl Kitzel, and Patrick Martin. Patrick Martin is, well, Carl, basically they're like co-artists in here. So, it's kind of weird, though, that we ended with, like, seems like a very strange time to end at 70. But yeah, you would think, basically, we're reading that last, like, oh, did Chuck Dixon end issue 60? No, it managed to continue for another 10 issues. Yes. So most of you have Nightwing. Okay, yes. So we have him fighting some other thug. By the way, he has his partner in the issue. Yeah. And, yeah, pretty much in the way the villains of this issue is basically, well, dealing with the crooked cops. Yes, basically in these issues, we deal with basically the crooked cops of the Bloodhaven Police Department. The basically one-shot characters are only here, and yeah, basically 61 is like a standalone issue, and then we have the stuff with the Joker's last laugh. Yes, 62 involves the Joker, Dr. Savannah, first appearance of 2 characters named Leather and Meathead. Who is Leather and Meathead? Leather is a female character who was an inmate at Selbleside Penitentiary, which was a place that was... Think of it as Bloodhaven's version of Blackgate. And this is her sole appearance in this book. Next time we see her, after this, will be in the Secret Files of Origins book for Joker Last Laugh, and she probably done a Salvation Run. And that was it for her. Yes. Meathead. He, of course, was only around. He only had one air appearance after this one, and that was in Joker's Last Laugh. Joker's Last Laugh, you know what the heck this story is. This is the storyline where Joker crazed across the DC Universe for a few months. And this actually was a crossover written, the main story was written by Chuck Dixon. Yes. And here's something really, really weird about this. He explained this on his podcast. Okay, so the explanation is that the story actually starts not with issue 1 of the story, but the Secret Forest Origins issue. Now, for some reason when DC collected the trade, he contacted DC and told him, why didn't you put this particular issue in the trade? This is what started the storyline. And the fact DC never marketed basically that issue as the opening issue. This was like, it was the opening issue. And the way he describes it, seems like though DC was like, whatever, it's already out anyways. From my perspective, the way basically Chuck Dixon said in his podcast about this is that DC was ignorant of this. Yeah, they were being stupid. All because some idiots DC hate Chuck Dixon. Yep, that's indeed true. They hate Chuck Dixon, all because he's a competent writer and the fact fans love him. Yes, seriously. And the fact he won't do stuff other people in the office do. That's the reason why he left DC Comics. Oh, by the way, the Joker's Last Laugh, it's only here for one issue. And the next issue has a guest appearance by the Blue Beetle and the Wally West Flash. And we deal with some final appearances by Nightwing and Torque. Nightwing himself, kind of in a way, this is when Chuck Dixon's wrapping up this run. He appears for some of the last issue of his run. After this, he appears like 2 more times after this. And he's practically written out of the comic. It's almost like he's a character which Devin Grayson had no plans for him. We just featured him probably, and of course, Torque. I don't know who this guy is. This guy is a former cop who actually got killed off in the discussing issues. Well, we'll get back to him. He's a guy who got his head turned backwards by Blockbuster. Oh yeah, we have Nightwing and Blue Beetle fighting the Madmen, who apparently have no idea who the heck Nightwing is. And I'm like, really? Now, this is not Chuck Dixon's fault. This is how he wrote the villains. Then 64, it is mostly dealing with appearance by John Law. You think, who the heck is John Law? He was the original Tarantula. Yep. Yeah. If you're curious, though, when did he become basically a supporting character in the book? Chuck Dixon became a recurring character issue 14. And after he wrapped up his run, he only appears as one issue here, 64. He pops up a few more times after this, during Devin Grace's run, and that was sadly it for him. Yeah, I'm not sure if this was basically him doing this. Yeah. The thing with Bridget Clancy, she was written with an Irish accent. People thought she was Irish. But no, she's actually, I think she's supposed to be Italian. Actually, no, she's Asian, yes. It was a big mystery with her, and she was practically a regular character in this book. And this is actually just she actually left the book issue 55. She would come back a few times after this, when Devin Grayson wrote the book and another writer. Yeah, because she went to medical school. Yeah. And then, of course, we have 65, skipping over this issue because it's basically the Bruce Wayne murderer storyline. and 66 because it also deals with Bruce the Murderer. 67 is basically, well, they were Chief Redhorn. Oh boy, this guy, he's a crooked cop. Yeah, and he will be written out of the series really soon. Yep, he'll be gone. I'll get back to him, don't worry about that. Yeah, 68, skip over that one because it's Fugitive. 69, skip over because it's Fugitive. Final issue. It's Nightwing versus a one-shot character named Hala, who actually debuted in the 80-page giant for Nightwing, who this was actually her final appearance. Yep, she never appeared ever again. Chuck Dixon basically had him fight one more time, and then basically, by the way, this issue didn't take place in Bloodhaven. It took place in Arizona. Yes. If you're curious, though, what was Chuck Dixon's last issue where he wrote the Nightwing book where he's in Bloodhaven? The answer to that was 69. That was the last time he wrote Bloodhaven in the Nightwing comic book. Pretty interesting issues, per se. Not as good as his other stuff he's done, but I would say probably the best issue of this book is probably 62. I love 62. That was a really good issue. No fault to Chuck Dixon with these issues. It just basically him wrap up his run. And then, of course, moving on to Devin Grace's one, which I'll talk about that in just a minute here. But for the end of Chuck Dixon's run, for this trade here, I give it roughly a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on Chuck Dixon's time on Nightwing. This book was absolutely amazing under him. Not a bad issue, per se. I actually own almost the entire run in trade, except for this Volume 8. There is technically a brief return for him on the book with Year 1, but that was a one-off return. But this is actually the end of his regular run, because he got replaced with Devin Grayson, who is not a bad writer, except that there's one bad issue this run, and basically her run was like very... I'm gonna talk about this a lot when I get to 93. So, now we're on Devin Grayson's run for the title. A run that lasted for technically 30 issues plus an additional 17. Overall, it was like 47 issues. She took to... You could think of it as like a 53... Like, basically, she was on this book for like almost 5 years. And, like... Basically, she left for 6 months because Chuck Dixon briefly came back to Year 1. But, yeah, this book does feel okay under her. But it just feels as though she wants to basically write out characters that she had nothing to do with the creation of. And that's kind of what happens here. So what happens over the course of these first 5 issues, starting with 75, basically, basically of Nightwing fighting... We have the first appearance in here of Catalina Flores in the opening issue. Who is this person? This is the debut of the next... This is the successor to the original Tarantula. Yes. She, of course, basically is a very controversial character who Jeff Lemire decided to bring... Actually, it wasn't Jeff Lemire. It was Ben Percy brought it back in the current continuity. Yeah, basically, this is their debut. We have first appearance in here of Glenn Mallory, who is a character who appears in these issues, mostly put in these issues, but he's gone before the run officially wraps up. Yeah, Catalina Flores has not become a Tarantula yet, per se. It's mostly fighting the Blood Angel Police Department a lot of these issues. That's kind of what happens here. Or fighting Blockbuster. And then, of course, we have Lady Vic returns. Yes, Lady Vic is brought back in this run. Yep. Yeah, this was a return to the book. First time since issue 55. Yes. She would pop up like 2 more times in this book, and that was it for her. It seemed like she appeared more in Titans than she did in this book. And appearing Secret 6. Yeah, it's like a brief return for her. And then like I think it was the very next issue, we have Kathleen Flores become Tarantula. That's the biggest thing about 75 is her becoming Tarantula. And of course there was some Bloodhaven, some Blockbuster stuff. But that's kind of it per se. You read these 5 issues and it's like just starting the run. We'll keep some characters there. Basically Dick Grayson's partner. She would basically continue appearing in the book. She first appeared in issue 48 for this run, and even after she was practically the only character Dick Grayson practically featured in this book. After pretty much like everyone else was dropped, she was like the only regular character. Which my guess is, and this is just my person, I think Devin Grayson was probably requested by Dixon to keep the character around because we still had to deal with the Blood and Police Department. But for the opening issues per se, it's a good start. I'm gonna give the issues roughly a 8.5 out of 10. Next up we have is some Detective Comics. Why Detective Comics? Because we're talking about the Becca feature in these issues. Well, mostly put, it's the Green Arrow Becca feature. But we're not discussing the whole thing. No. It started issue 51, it ended with issue 6, but we're not discussing all 47 issues here. Well, technically 46 because he just skipped 1 issue. 525 he does not feature in the book. We're only discussing just 521 to 524 and 526 to 548. And here's a fun fact about these issues. All but 2 written by Joey Cavalieri. There are a couple issues written by Alan Moore. The issues written by Alan Moore have a guest appearance by the Vigilante. Yep. If you're curious, like, what issues does he appear in for this book? He appears in, I thought I saw him there, because I remember Alan Moore wrote a couple issues in here. Okay, he did, he did the later issues. Guess why he did the other ones. Anyways, so mostly put a lot of these issues, these early issues for Detective, is mostly put just Green Arrow fighting some thugs. Like, let's say the first issue, it's him with a character named George Taylor Jr., who's a reporter from Star City. Yeah, this was a return for him. He was brought over from when Green Arrow was the world's finest. He's not here very long. He's only here for a handful of issues and he's gone. He's only here for these first 2 issues. Comes back a few more and that's it. Yeah, it's mostly put just Green Arrow fighting, just one-shot characters. We actually have the first appearance of a character named Electrix. Yeah, she's like a recurring character in this book. It's like she's trying to get close to Oliver Queen throughout these issues. Yes. But she only appears for 2 issues and then she's gone. Yeah, and there's also a really good 2-part I think comes later. I don't think comes these issues per se. No. Basically, like, here's kind of the thing. All the stories in here are mostly put just 2-parters. The first 2 are standalone, but starting with 523 and 524, we have 2-parters. Yep. And like I mentioned, 525 takes an issue off. Yeah, do not know why. Oh, he does appear in that. I don't remember seeing that. I think maybe they cut it out here. It's basically him versus the Wall Street Regulars. It must not have been there because I didn't see it. Oh, it was 526 he was absent for, not 525. My mistake. It was 526 he was absent for. Yep. Then we have Getting Up. Where basically you have Green Arrow versus a graffiti artist. Okay. And then Poison Artwork. Yeah, still dealing with Ozone, who's kind of like basically your main villain here. Lost in the Ozone. Yeah. Like first is 2-parters, now it's 3-parters. And then we have Survival of the Fittest. We have the first appearance of Survivalist. Yes. A character who only appears for 3 issues. Yeah, it's like, okay, let's have these somewhat original villains appear fighting Green Arrow for these issues. I don't honestly know why. Then we have Black Box, which is I think this one was a 2 or 3-parter. Yeah, this was basically like, actually it's a 4-part of this one. Yeah, it lasted from 533 to 536. It's mostly Green Arrow dealing with the bomber. Yeah, that's most of what these issues are. 537, Survival First. Deals with a crooked landlord who owns a building. Okay, and here's the weird thing: there's no Black Canary in these early issues. Not really, no. Yeah, and then we have 538. He runs into a villain from his past. In 539, the boxer the devil you know. First appearance of Printer's Devil. Yes, a guy who wears a goat's head, and he's only here for a few issues. He actually comes back after taking it. He appears for 2 straight issues, and he comes back in 543. You can think of these issues, oh yeah, let's have basically Green Arrow versus the Church of Satan for a couple issues. I'm like, really? Then we have Nightfly. Well, we basically take it together with a guy called Death Dealer. Now, he is a regular Green Arrow who actually returned for Green Arrow Black Canary. Yes, he appears for 2 straight issues in this book, and then he gets killed off in Green Arrow Black Canary by Cupid. Yep. And after you have a brief return for Death Dealer in 543, in a story called No, It's Not Fair. In 544, we have Green Arrow taking on 3 characters: Bad Penny, Pinball Wizard, and Printer's Devil. Printer's Devil. This is the second one. The second Printer's Devil. He's only here for 2 issues. His last appearance to be in the very next issue. Pinball Wizard. Yeah, he's here for 3 issues. 545 listeners. We have Bad Penny, who appears for basically 3 issues. And then she's done. Yeah, so we have Green Arrow versus minor villains. Okay, moving on. For the last 3 issues, we have Clash Reunion. Yeah, we have the first appearance of a character named Onyx. Who is Onyx? A character who became a recurring character in the 2000s. Yes, and I initially thought about this character. I remember this character appearing on Arrow, but I kind of thought she was a Batman character because I remember seeing her in a featured Orpheus. She was basically his bodyguard. No, she was a Green Arrow villain first. Well, Green Arrow character per se. Yeah, then we have John Diggle fighting her in a limo in the TV show. Yes, seriously. Yeah, basically issue 546 was her debut appearance. And she's there for the next 3 issues, then she comes back for the remainder of the run. You have to take a couple issues up because of Alan Moore being there. And of course, deal with a character named Vengeance. Oh yeah, this is the guy who I thought was Vigilante. Yeah. Because when I saw him, I'm like, wait, is this Vigilante? No, it's a character named Vengeance. And he is a recurring villain. Yeah, he appears for basically 545 to 548. And he also was killed off in Green and Black Canary number 18. Yeah, they kill off Big Game, Death Dealer, Slingshot, and Vengeance. Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting villain. It's like you look at him, it's like it's obviously a ripoff of the Vigilante. That's literally what this guy is. But pretty interesting start for this run. I'll discuss it next video. Basically, discuss the rest of this run. But it is quite interesting, this run for Detective Comics. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the dislike button. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my Hero Academia next, and then do the next comic corner. Okay, next video. Bye.